Good morning. This is for Tuesday the 27th, modeling with area and volume review. For period 1, I know this video was not posted yet in time for the period, so hopefully you go back, check this one out. For periods 5 and 6, I'm also going to go through all of these problems. I'm just going to go ahead, work everything out. This worksheet's a little bit more straightforward than the other one. So hopefully this one won't take as long, but the other one is the one, really focus on that other one as well, because the other one's got a little bit more challenging problems with the unit conversions. Again, as always, make sure if you have any questions, reach out to me and ask me. And also make sure you're taking notes on this, because the notes you will be able to use on the test. All right, so for the first one here, we got the state of Colorado has a population of 5.8 million. And find the density in people per square mile. All right, good thing here. Notice the dimensions they give you, these lengths, they're already in miles, and it wants it in people per square mile, so we're good. We don't need to do any conversions here. So we got density equals population over area. So we got 5.8 million over the area. Remember, your area is the length times the width, so 280 times 380. So that's going to be 5,800,000 divided by 280 divided by 3. You know what? Let's do 280 times 380 first. I think that might make this a little more straightforward. So that's going to be that'll be 106,400. So we'll have the population over the area. And then for our population density, that's going to give us an answer of about 54.51. And then for population density, go ahead, just round that to the nearest person. So that's going to round up. So that's going to give us an answer of 55 people per square mile. All right, part 2. California, it gives us the population and it gives us an area, and it wants the density. So we got density equals population over area. So that's going to be the population, 39.24 million, over the area, 163,696 square miles. So go ahead, do that division, round it to the nearest person, whatever that is, that's going to be your answer. All right, population over area. Always go back to that formula. Okay, number 2, or board number 2. It's getting a little bit more interesting here. We got a little bit more going on. So we got a circular region has a certain population and a certain density, and they want us to find the radius. Okay, so we got a circular region, and what we want to know is what is that radius. So again, always go back to that. Always go back to the formula: population over area. So our density is 135. So we can put that in for the D. For the population, we know what the population is. So for P, we got 12,500 over area. Area is what we need to solve for, right? So first of all, let's get that A all by itself. This is just like one of the problems. I forget which one. I think it's number 4 on the other worksheet, now that I'm thinking about it. So if you're having questions on number 4, you can also refer to this one as well, because these are very similar between the two worksheets. Okay, so let's solve for A. So what you're going to do, you're going to multiply A on both sides, right? Multiply whatever's in the denominator to both sides. Okay, so it's going to cancel right there. And you're going to have 135A equals 12,500. And then you're going to divide both sides by 135. So that's going to give you that the area equals, let's see, 12,500 over 135. It's about 92.59 square miles. But it doesn't want the area of that region, right? It wants us to find the radius. So let's find the radius. Okay, remember, the formula for area of a circle, the area of this guy is going to be pi times the radius squared. Well, we know that this is the area, so what we can say is that pi times the radius squared is equal to the area, which is 92.59 square miles. Right, so what we need to do is we need to solve for that radius. So divide both sides by pi, and then you're going to take the square root, right? Because right now you've got r squared equals, let's see, 92.59 divided by pi. What does that give us? Divided by pi, that gives us about 29.47, right? That is r squared. So we're going to take the square root of both sides, and that will be your answer. The radius is, let's see, it is 5.4 miles. However, it wants it to the nearest mile, so we're going to round that down to 5 miles. And there's your radius. Okay, and that one again, just like number 4, I think that's very similar to number 4 on the other worksheet, so you can refer between those two. All right, the density of sulfuric acid given the weight. All right, let's see. So we've got density equals mass over volume. So density equals the mass, 65.14, divided by the volume, 35.4 milliliters. Okay, so whatever that is, so that will tell you to do 65.14 divided by 35.4, and that gives you 1.84 grams per milliliter. And we might be wondering, where did grams over milliliters come from? Like, where did this come from? Well, that came from that formula, 65.14 grams divided by 35.4 milliliters. So if you're having trouble figuring out what the units are, you can always write them in the formula, in those steps along the way, and that might help you figure out what units we should have in the final answer. Also, for what it's worth, density is always going to be, it's going to be some unit of mass over some unit of volume, right? Either that, or when we're doing population density, it will be this many people per a certain area. That helps. And then obviously your masses are always going to be like grams or pounds or kilograms, or just some unit of weight. Okay, next one. So a block of lead has these dimensions. All right, so let's draw this out. We've got 4.5 centimeters by 5.2 centimeters by 6 centimeters, and it has a certain weight, right? Well, density is mass over volume, so we've got the mass, right? That's how much does it weigh? 1587 grams over the volume. Remember, volume of like a cube or like a rectangular prism, right? It's just the length times the width times the height. So you're going to multiply all these guys together. So 4.5 times 5.2 times 6. Once we multiply all those together, that's going to give us 140.4. And that is in centimeters cubed. Okay? So your density, 1587 divided by 140.4. Whatever that gives you, that's going to be your density. All right, next one. Okay, this one's getting a little more tricky here because, again, this time we got to do some unit conversions. This is a little bit more like what you're going to be doing on that other worksheet. That other worksheet is pretty heavy on the unit conversions. This one, not so much. But this problem here, it's a good introduction to it. So it says we've got a height of 6 and a diameter of 12. So let's go ahead and draw that out. Got a height of 6 and then a diameter, so that tells us all the way across is 12. And then this is going to be in inches. All right, that is in inches, and then that 6 is also in inches. Okay, but notice our density is in cubic centimeters, so we want to go ahead and convert this into centimeters. All right, let's do that. So when you're converting from inches to centimeters, you're going to multiply it by 2.54. Okay, so 12 inches, right, that gives you our diameter is 30.48 centimeters all the way across. And then the height, multiply this 6 by 2.54, right? We're going to convert the height into centimeters as well. and that's going to give you a new height of 15.24 centimeters. All right, well, going back to our formula, we've got density equals mass over volume. All right, so 0.07 is our density, right, equals the mass, which is what we want to solve for, divided by our volume. Well, for the volume, remember we need, this is a cylinder, right? This cake's a cylinder, so we need that formula for volume. So we're doing volume, we've got, I'll do it over here, we got volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height. All right, well, the radius we don't have, right? Because we're given the diameter. That's all the way across. We want the radius. That's halfway. So we got to cut this guy in half. So 30.48 divided by 2. That'll give you this distance, the radius. So divide that by 2, you're going to get 15.24 centimeters. 15.24. All right, so we can put that into the formula now. Pi times the radius, 15.24 squared, times the height. All right, and the height is also 15.24. Okay, so we've got pi times 15.24 squared times 15.24. Or you could just do 15.24 cubed. Either one works. So go ahead, punch this into your calculator. And that's going to give you a volume of, let's see, volume equals about 11,120, what units are we in? We're in centimeters cubed right here. Centimeters cubed. All right, there's your volume. So mass over volume, we can put that into our formula, 11,120. And then again, when we're finding mass, pretty much always that last step, just multiply that volume to the other side. So you're going to do 0.07 times 11,120. That's going to give you your answer, right? That's going to be your mass is 778 grams. And notice that I rounded that answer, right? Because it says to the nearest gram. So whenever they say to the nearest, that just means go ahead and round it. All right. This last one here, this one's very similar to the one that we did a couple minutes ago, the one with the box. All right, so we've got another box here. We've got, let's see, let's draw this out. Got 8.4 centimeters by 5.5 centimeters, and then by 4.6 centimeters. And then the density is also given, and it wants us to find the mass. So we got density equals mass over volume. So there's our densities, 8.92. Put that in for the D. And then mass is what we're solving for. We don't know that yet, so we can leave the M there. And then again, volume, right? We're just going to multiply this times that times that. Length times width times height. So let's do that on the calculator. 8.4 times 5.5 times 4.6. And that's going to give you a volume of 212.52 centimeters cubed. All right, and again, same last step, multiply that volume to the other side. So we've got 8.92 times 212.52. And that is going to give you a mass of 1895.68. What units are we in? That's going to be in grams. And there's your mass. All right, please let me know if you have any questions. I am going to be free all day. You can text me, you can email me. Let me know what I can do to help. And that's all I got for today.